Welcome to Wealth Coffee Chats, folks, for your daily live updates. Get the most out of today's episode by participating in the chat. Make sure you ask some questions, be part of the conversation, have a bit of fun, grab a coffee or a tea, take some notes, and get ready to start your day, folks. Quick few housekeeping rules, though. No spamming, no advertising or self-promotion in the chat. That's not on. Be kind and respectful to everyone when participating. And most of all, have a good time. Real estate investing can be your biggest asset. It also can be your most expensive asset when it comes to getting it right or getting it wrong, folks. It can be time-consuming, stressful, and that's why here at Positive, we have what's called a 6-star team, a full-service team that provides integrated wealth and property investing solutions and services simply designed to help you progress towards your goal of passive income through your property portfolio, folks. Make sure you check out our other podcasts on the Positive Mentor Network. Not only is there Wealth Coffee Chats, there's the Urban Property Investor. Drops every Wednesday with straight talking investing strategies and lessons with Sam Saggers. Property Investor Tales. This is where our clients, you guys, share real life stories from property investing, hosted by some of our advisors and strategists. And that's done every fortnight, dropping every Monday. Wealth, Wine and Wisdom, folks, that debriefs the week that was in the world of finance and property, hosted by yours truly, Jason Witten and Andy Fenton on Fridays. Hey, good morning, folks.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chat.
Hope you're well, folks, wherever you are.
There it is, team. Morning. Morning, wherever you're tuning in from today.
Early bird gets the worm, they say. Here at Positive, we offer a 6-star team. It's a team that help you at every stage of your wealth creation journey.
General advice disclaimer. The information provided is general in nature and does not take into account your personal objectives, financial situation, or needs. Before acting on any information, you should consider whether it is appropriate for your circumstances and seek professional advice from a licensed financial advisor. While every effort has been made to ensure the accuracy of the information, it is not guaranteed. It is based on our understanding of regulations and laws as at the publication date. As these are subject to change, you should talk to a professional advisor for the most up-to-date information. Any examples or illustrations provided are for illustrative purposes only and are not a guarantee of future performance. We do not accept any liability for any loss or damage incurred by reliance on the information provided. Any opinions expressed are subject to change without notice. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and all investments carry risks. Neither the hosts, guests, nor any affiliated entities accept liability for any loss or damage arising from reliance on the information provided. By listening to this podcast and viewing this presentation, you acknowledge and agree to these terms.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Alex here from the financial planning team. Welcome to the first episode of 2026 financial year. It feels kind of strange given that we're already third day in, and I know the other guys have already provided a lot of cool and informative details about the changes. So I'm not going to dwell on it today, but it will definitely come back into our conversation over the next couple of weeks and months. So the theme for today is really to get ready for 2026, right? So 2026 financial year and not the actual calendar year. So when it comes to finances, we are speaking in financial years. So good morning, everyone who's jumping on. Good morning, Kevin. Good to see you from all the way on the other side. Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, Sonia. Good to see you all. Thank you for jumping on. So let's chat about what we are going to do and how we're going to be preparing for 2026. So last episode, I sort of mentioned things like, it's the last sort of couple of days to get things done. So, in terms of tax, in terms of everything around the tax related activities. But now, guys, you've got literally 362 days to get your stuff sorted. All right. Oh, look, we've got a few more people jumping on. Good morning, Chris. Yes, I've got my coffee here. Good morning, Trina. Nice to see you. And good morning, Pat. Good to see you all. Thanks for jumping on. So 2026, right? It's going to be an interesting year. So just to give you a couple of interesting stats, right? 2025, we finished the year relatively strong, right? Aussie and international markets sort of low single digits, around sort of 12% for the Aussie market and about 15% for the international market, right? So what does that mean for you, right? So it's part of your planning now. So over the next couple of weeks, right? So I know you have to go and do your tax returns. Again, don't rush. There's been a lot of media attention around that. Don't lodge your tax return in the first couple of weeks, but Dan will tell you more about that. But ultimately, settle down, have some coffee, and drop down a couple of goals that you want to achieve in this next 12 months, right? So the way you would set that out is have something that you think is relatively achievable. You might be already partway there, but you just haven't fully hit it. And then set some ambitious goals as well, and sort of work backwards as to your plan, how you want to get there, and what steps are required for you to actually execute and make that happen, right? And then next time this year, you can potentially celebrate the achievements that you have achieved. So I think right now, actually, this next sort of month is super crucial in terms of not just planning, but also getting together with your 6-star team, right? So who do we got on the 6-star team, right? You've got us, right? So you got us. You got your accountants. So you got your property managers. You got your real estate guys. You got your mortgage brokers. You got your coaches, right? So and just have a conversation about, hey, look, this is what my plan is for the next 12 months. What should I be doing in order, to help me achieve those goals? What can you contribute in that sort of conversation for me to hit those goals? So, breaking it down a little bit more, right? Like if we look at the mortgage brokers, it's always the same sort of conversation about really, am I paying the best interest rate, right? Am I able, what's my borrowing capacity, right? So now that the interest rates are coming down, what should be your strategy? Do I refinance now, or do I hold off for another couple of months and see what the interest rates do there? How does that impact on your overall strategy, right? So a very valuable conversation. A lot of people are investing in property on this channel. So, probably your sort of second best friend, right? So, so again, real estate, right? Like property, whether that's residential or commercial, right? So again, you need to find a professional specialist in that area who can help you find the property type to suit your budget, to suit your strategy. So again, it's never too late to start that conversation, because you've got to remember that there's multiple steps required in order for you to actually execute on the plan. It's not like, okay, here's my idea, I'm going to do it now. Well, if you can do it now, then it's not really an ambitious goal, because you want to be able to work towards it and then reap the rewards at the end of it. Simple things like valuations, depreciation schedules, acquisition strategy around these assets, right? So let's think about what are our strategic plans for the next 12 months, how we're going to execute them. You might already have existing property, right? So property management, perfect time to review, the rent yields, the style of or the performance of your property manager, right? So all of these things are super important to go back and review. And again, always set a benchmark, right? Look back 12 months and see what, how it performed. What were the great things? What were not so great things? What can you improve on? Sometimes you might have outgrown your personal position from a couple of years ago, so you might need to upgrade, right? So, and that's not just from an asset perspective. That could be from a professional perspective. It could be from, a friends group perspective as well. So be careful on the last one. What else we got? Tax, right? Tax and accounting. So obviously these guys will be, probably your next person that you call because, they're going to do your tax returns. So you're going to be having a really in-depth conversation about what you can and can't actually put down as a deduction potentially on your tax return. So, but again, I wouldn't rush and try to get the accountant to have this conversation with you right now, because they're most likely going to be overwhelmed with all the tax returns that they have to do. However, it's something to pencil into your diary for perhaps a couple of months from now. Maybe even perhaps October onwards, where you sit down and you have those conversations, because you'd rather start planning for your end of the year. I know it sounds too early, but if you break it down into your sort of steps, the accountant comes in, let's just say October, November, December, and you can actually be ready and you'll have plenty of time to do certain things that you may have missed out, last week because you haven't planned in advance. With us, right, financial advisors. So what we are doing currently is we're actually reviewing our last 12 months. Again, similar things to what I just said to you a second ago. We're reviewing the performance of our investment portfolios. We're looking at the goals and objectives that we set out for our clients, and are they on track to meet them, or they just been drifting along? What do we need to do to to sort of bring that up and make them perform an action on something that they may have perhaps were sitting on. There were some other strategies that we're waiting on implementing right now, because strategically we had conversations with our clients where we said, okay, so pre-30th of June, we're going to do a couple of strategies there. And then July, August, we're going to do the other strategies. And this is all part of our tax planning conversation that we would have had sort of March, April, May, June, right? So these things don't just come out of the thin air. You do need to plan for them. You do need to have a solid action plan. Right now is a perfect time to build that out, and get yourself ready for this 2026. There's a lot of things that are coming. If you listen to Dan's podcast, I think it was yesterday, the day before, there's a lot that's brewing in the background that most likely going to affect certain things, over the next couple of years. So instead of sort of sitting on the sidelines and waiting for it, you might as well already start positioning your strategies, your assets, etc., to be prepared for those actions, right? Morning, Chris. Thank you for jumping on. Sorry I didn't call you out earlier. I was just on the roll, so I just wanted to finish my my spill. But no, thank you for jumping on, Chris. Great to see you. So again, in summary, review what you have done in the last 12 months. Look at the things that worked. We have had a really decent year in terms of performance, right? So does that mean that you need to go away and reshuffle your portfolios, right? So like I mentioned, the equities, Aussie, international have done quite well, right? So that means that asset class would have gone up in your portfolio. And then perhaps, the other one that has done perhaps not as well, the commercial space, right? Because the interest rates have been relatively high over the last couple of years, or they've come up relatively quickly. And, with the commercial space, it took a little bit of time to catch up to what the interest rates were doing. So on paper, the valuations had to come down. So now you're looking at your asset class, and it's looking like your property section might be a little bit undervalued on paper, but in reality, it might be a different story. So you've got to review all of that, right? Whether that's with us, whether that's with your accountant or whether that's on your own, right? You just need to understand exactly what you're looking at. So if you don't know much about different types of asset allocations, just go back a few episodes and I've covered off on all of the different types of asset allocations. We will cover off and put them into practice over the next couple of months, and hopefully, individually, yes, makes sense, but how do you sort of keep them together? We'll learn about that as well. So again, reach out to your team and start preparing a plan for this year. It's never too early. You'd rather be early than late. And you want to make sure you review everything, set out some goals for this year. You will have some goals that may take several years to complete or to get to, right? But ultimately, that's fine. Let's just see how much further we have done over the last 12 months to get us closer to that end goal, right? So reach out to your Six Star team, reach out to myself if you have any questions, and hopefully this will give you a really awesome pump up for the year to get out there, sit down, have your coffee, and think about those plans for the next 12 months. So relatively short today, guys. So I'll see you all next week. Thank you, and have a good weekend. See you later.
Thanks for watching another episode of Wealth Coffee Chat, folks. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you never miss a thing when we go live. Improve your portfolio and investing game, folks, with Wealth Coffee Chats live every morning at 8:10 each weekday. Make sure you join us. Previous episodes are also available wherever you get your podcasts, folks, as well as our other podcasts from the Six Star team here at positivementor.com.au.